Hey guys, my name's Kyle Harding. I'm a IBM Maximo Senior Architect. I'm responsible for the Maximo HSE product. What I wanted to talk to you about today was how you can use Maximo HSE to enable your back to work programs that are being currently driven by the COVID-19 epidemic. So the CDC and OSHA began offering some guidance on the measures that need to be in place to protect your workers as they return to your facilities. So we've kind of broken down some of that guidance into different use cases that we're hearing from our customers and looked at the Maximo HSE product and some of the different functions and components that are provided within the suite and how they can be used across those use cases. So what I want to spend the next 15 minutes or so going through are some of those use cases and showing you how those use cases are enabled using Maximo HSE. So the first Start Center I want to walk you through is the Self-Service Start Center. So this is targeted to your employees who are returning to work. There's very specific information here that's important to them. So the first thing you'll see is a fit for duty questionnaire and a link to complete that questionnaire on a daily basis as they're coming into work. So this could be completed on a tablet. It could be completed on their smartphone. The idea is I'm asking them the set of questions that are important to me as an employer to make sure that my employees are feeling able to work and they're not experiencing any COVID-19 symptoms before they enter my facility. I'm going to walk through that questionnaire, but before we get there, I just want to walk through some of these different elements that are on my Start Center. Right, we're using Bulletin Board as a way for management to distribute information to my employees. So there might be some new rules about entry into the workplace. If I open those details, then the employee can review each of those messages. Not going to go through those details, but the other nice thing that we can do here is we can also have links to third-party type information. So in this case, this particular bulletin board message is talking about wearing cloth face coverings, and there's a tutorial that's available related to that right off of the CDC website. So if I click on that link, my employee can go out and start to review that information. If I close that up, down below that, we have some FAQs. So I might be gathering information as an employer. My health, safety, and environment department might gather that information and keep it fresh. But I'm able to present it to them in a way that they can easily review it. So if they're not really sure what the symptoms of COVID-19 are, they can open those symptoms. They can see those details. And then we're also providing them some instruction in case they do experience these types of symptoms, what to do next. Let's just go back to my Start Center. Two other pieces. Each of these is called a portlet, by the way, on the Maximo Start Center. So I'm also presenting a kind of a grouping of metrics that are important to the success of my return to work. Right? What we're trying to sell as part of kind of our safety culture is that all of the employees are in this together, and it's really up to them how successful the program is going to be and how long I'm able to stay open as an employer by following the rules and the guidance that's being provided by the CDC and OSHA. So in this case, I'm pulling together different events that have been reported. So whether it's a face mask detection program where one of my employees is reporting that face masks aren't being worn properly, or there's improper disposal of PPE, which is this hazmat issue, or occupancy monitoring. So for example, in my conference rooms, maybe the conference room rating for the number of employees has been cut in half in order to allow for proper social distancing. So whether I'm automatically detecting that using some technology and sensors that could be part of Worker Insights, or my human sensors are reporting that by using the safety observation capability that's provided as part of HSE, right? I'm pulling all of that information together, presenting it to these self-service employees, so they really get that feeling that the success of the program really depends on them and their compliance with some of the guidelines. Up above that, like I said, my employees are really my human observers. They see what's going on. By using safety observations within the incident application, I allow them to report what they see. right? And I encourage them to report what they see because it's good for everybody. It really gets the type of information that I need in the system to be able to perform some of that statistical analysis, right? Ideally, those safety observations feed into improvement programs. So if, for example, I see over a certain period of time, the number of face mask detection incidents, it keeps going up, right? In a 24-hour period, maybe the next 24-hour period, it goes from 9 up to 15. So that might trigger a retraining that I need to call that to everybody's attention, that we really need to be vigilant wearing our face masks to protect everybody. In this portlet, this COVID quick reporting portlet, what we do is we bring together a couple capabilities. When I take a quick look at how this is configured, right, I'm calling the create incident application. So it's going to insert a new incident into the incident application, and not just insert a blank incident, it's inserting it and applying a ticket template at the same time. So it's a partially filled out, it simplifies the process of reporting those types of issues. So I might have a quick insert for all of the top issues that I see on a daily basis, just to simplify that process. And just to show you how that works, before we jump into the Fit for Duty questionnaire, if I click on one of these, it's going to open the Create Incident application, and you can see it's already started to fill in some of those details. So it's filled in the type, the category, and the observation type. Again, if I just open the observation type, you can see the different types of observations. So I might have a ticket template for each one of these, or choose the ones that are most reported, and then provide that to my self-service user just to ease that process. So this hazmat is improper PPE disposal. As I take a quick look at the incident application, there's really 4 sections. The what happened, where did it happen, who was involved, and what did you do about it. So I can capture all of those details. It all becomes a part of the incident record that's submitted, and then my HSE team can pick up the incidents. They might have their own, they'd have their own start center where they have their own metrics, and they're tracking some of the trends that are happening with each of these types of incidents. Action taken is interesting in that, I want my employees to take action when they see these things. So if I take a look at this value list, well, when I say what did you do about it, or what was the action that you took? Did you clean it up? Did you tell the supervisor? Did you place a warning in the vicinity? Did you tell the person, the violator, you advised him of the violation to make sure that, the next time that they're disposing of PPE, that they dispose of it properly. So just to go back up to my Start Center, what I wanted to show right now is my Fit for Duty questionnaire. So this is a questionnaire on a daily basis I need to collect from my employees prior to their entrance into the facility. So if I click on my Fit for Duty, I'm automatically capturing who's reporting it. And this is really capturing really 3 or 4 pieces of information. I might be asking my employees to self-report and to opt in to report their current temperature. So they take their temperature before entering the facility. So if anybody has a fever, it's one of the leading indicators that I don't necessarily want them reporting for work today. But I'm also asking these 4 specific questions. Right? And these are coming straight off of some of the CDC guidance. And this is pretty much, or not pretty much, but for most of the employees and companies that we've been talking to, this is an opt-in program. So we are gathering some personal information, but because of the nature of the return to work initiatives, we feel a lot of the employers will be having their employees opt into this type of information. So the next, once it's been completed and submitted, let me just add some details here. Feeling great. Temp is 98.6. And I might combine this type of a questionnaire with some automation at my entrance as well. So I might be taking people's temperature or scanning for temperature as people are entering the facility. And if any of that type of automated information is indicating that somebody has some issues, then I would pull those people aside and maybe ask additional questions. So I'm going to submit that. Once I submit it, I return to my Start Center. And now I'm going to go into the management side, the command center on the management side. So the second work center I want to walk you through is the one that we've created for the COVID-19 Management Command Center team. So this is more of the management-focused work center. You can see the content looks a little bit different, but the intent is basically the same. I really want to bring focus to what's important to the management team and give them easy access to the tools they need to do their job. So just to point out a few things on here, my goal as part of this demonstration is to show you how easy it is to report a COVID-19 positive employee diagnosis. But before we get to that demo, just to walk through some of the content here. So up on the top left is access to some of the applications that they need to do their job. Like we saw over on the self-service side, the ability to create some of those bulletin board entries are done in the bulletin board app. So we give them quick access here. The second one to point out is the ability to create and author ticket templates, right, which is really a way to operationalize and standardize a response to common safety observations, for example. So I can describe the set of steps related to addressing a particular safety observation. I can do that in ticket templates. Just to step over to the right-hand side, a couple of different use cases that we've seen and we've been talking to our customers about. One is around training and some of the certifications that the employees need to have in order to return to work. So we've just kind of emulated that here, where we have a result set, which is bringing back the employees who have a COVID-19 training certificate that's expiring in the next 7 days. So I'm being proactive in nature. From the management side, I can reach out to these employees. I can also take advantage of some of the capabilities of the Maximo platform, using COM templates and escalations to automatically push communications, emails to this set of employees to remind them that they need to do their training. Down below that, I have a neat example of some overcrowding issues that are being reported. And if I look at the reporting, who it's been reported by, it's really the source of the incident, right? Where did this arise? And if we start talking a little bit about different types of sources, you can have human sources, right? They're my human observers. I could also have some sensors that might have been deployed out in my facility. So a separate presentation that's happened in the past, I think a couple weeks ago, was the IBM Worker Insights presentation, which is all about wearables and fixed sensors within an environment and being able to capture the data coming off of those sensors. So in this case, I might have sensors set up on my conference rooms, and anytime I'm going over a threshold of the number of employees in a particular room, I could create a particular incident, apply a ticket template, which might trigger the creation of a no-go zone, and the fact that there's one of the activities that has to be completed could be a deep cleaning. Right? So I'm automatically creating those based upon that feed of data coming in from Worker Insights. As opposed to, on the left-hand side, I have improper PPE disposal observation. So again, this is more of my human observer. They might be in my facility. They see a pair of gloves or a face mask that's disposed of improperly. Right? It's not in a hazardous material bin, or maybe it's just put on the floor. So my human observer could use the Maximo mobile incident reporter, mobile application, snap a quick picture, send that into the HSE team, to the command center, and I start to track those types of events as well, because I need to make sure if people don't understand how to dispose of it, that could be a trigger for some retraining for that to happen. And finally, down below at the very bottom is another interesting combination type of an event. So these are social distancing alerts. So it could be people who are reporting them. So they're, again, using their incident reporter application. They might report that there's people who are working too close together. We also see here Worker Insights as a source. So people using wearables, the wearables can detect when employees are within 6 feet of each other. So if those types of events are being captured by the devices, and that data coming off of those devices is crunched, run through a rules engine, and that rules engine automatically generates an incident for a social distancing alert. So I'm able to capture that type of data as well. What I wanted to show now is just using, again, this is a quick reporting portlet. So this is a combination of the ability to insert an incident record and apply a ticket template at the same time. In this case, right, I want to emulate the reporting of a positive diagnosis by an employee. So as I click that quick insert, I can see I've already started to fill in the details for the incident record that's created. I would provide the user information, but you can see the classification, the priority, the service group. A lot of those important values are already filled in. What's even more interesting are the activities that need to happen. So as I look at these activities, right, I need to separate the employee. I need to contact trace all of the people that employee came in contact with. I need to identify the areas where the employee had been working so I can set up a no-go zone in order to perform a deep cleaning. Right? And these are just examples of the type of activities that would be part of that ticket template that's applied as I'm capturing this event. Just to quickly show you what a particular incident might look like, I have one we've provided some details. And just to walk you through that, right? So in this case, Redding was the employee who was impacted. As I move down to the people who were impacted by the incident, right, this is where I start to perform some of my contact tracing. So in addition to capturing the details for Tony Redding, who was the person who is injured or ill, I do want to open those details so you can see all of the OSHA type material that's captured as part of the record. I capture when he reported the illness, the location that he was working in, the high-level grouping. So if you're familiar with the OSHA 300 and 300A, this is where I capture some of the specific information that feeds into that report. So the type of injury or illness, the impact, the outcomes, right, the days out or transferred, some of the follow-ups, the physician who the employee is under their care, and then the follow-up action. So once they're ready to come back, the fact that a fit for duty clearance coming from the doctor is required. So we enable all of this capability within the application. One of the real value points that comes off of HSE is the capability that once I've captured all of that information is really the ability to generate the 300 and the 300A. So we're just giving some examples here, but these are out-of-the-box reports that are provided as part of HSE. So as I'm capturing the information within the system, when I get to the end of that sequence, right, the ability to generate the 300 to 300A or any other type of regulatory reporting that needs to be done can easily be generated directly from the system. I don't need to go around and find all of these separate sources of information and pull it together on the report. If I'm doing it properly within the system, with a couple of clicks, I can generate the 300 and the 300A. So just to wrap this up, I've taken you through a couple of the work centers that we've configured to address some of the back to work requirements that are coming out of the CDC and OSHA. There's a whole other set of use cases that we didn't have time to go through as part of this presentation. Kind of broken them out here on this slide. I'm sure you might have other use cases that that aren't covered on this slide, but if you'd like to sit and talk about your specific use cases or any of the other use cases that we've called out here, please do reach out to us. Here are the key contacts that are working with the Maximo Health, Safety, and Environment Manager product. Please reach out directly to us. We'd be happy to set up some time and walk through the full presentation and talk to any specific requirements that you might have that you're trying to work through as part of your Maximo HSE install. So Thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience in going through this presentation. And please do reach out to us. We'd love to talk to you. Thank you.